Good morning, Spiritual Life Center. Welcome to the SLC Sunday Experience. We're so glad that you're here. You are in the right place at the right time, and we're going to sing about that.
That's right, just where you are meant to be, whether you're live streaming or here in person. We're going to sing about how everyone is welcome here. Are you ready? Let's do it. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I am meant to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I am meant to be. In the right place. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I am meant to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I am meant to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome. Your soul is welcome. All souls are welcome here. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I am meant to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I am meant to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome. Oh, my soul is welcome. Oh, my soul, your soul, his soul, her soul. We're all welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome. I'm getting the message. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome here. You know that your soul is. Let me hear you say it. Your soul is welcome. No matter what color, what culture, sexual orientation, political or religious affiliation. Oh yeah, many paths, everybody's welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here.
Well, good morning. Good to see you this morning.
Good
All our souls are welcome here.
And good morning, Reverend James, and it's great to be up here with you today. And we greet you in the name of all that is good, all that is holy, and all that is sacred, and in the warm and loving energy of this community, Spiritual Life Center. Spiritual Life Center honors all people worshiping in church temples, mosques, churches, stone circles, and of course the beautiful temples of nature, because we know that there is no space that God does not grace. If you're with us for the very first time today, either online or here in person, we especially want to welcome you because we know that you are not here by accident. Every one of us is here by divine appointment. And we're always just so grateful to be together. And then that gratitude extends to silencing your electronic devices, and please refrain from flash photography during the service.
Well, each year, between the anniversaries of the deaths of Mahatma Gandhi and Martin Luther King Jr., we have what we call a season for nonviolence. And each week we have a member of our community to share one of the principles that these two icons taught to kind of continue to spread the consciousness in which they started. So I'm going to have this morning, our reader is going to be Curtis Brown, and he's going to talk about one of the principles that we are discussing this week on the season for nonviolence. So welcome, Curtis.
Good morning, everybody. Today, I am aware of my actions, how my actions affect others. Mother Teresa said, "Kind words can be short and easy to speak, but their echoes are truly endless." Our thoughts, our words, and our actions are creative activity. But what are we creating? Today, Blessed Spirit, let me be aware of the power of my words. Let my words as well as my actions be only positive, enriching, and uplifting for all those who cross my path today. Today, I offer myself to be in service to you by aligning my actions with your will for the highest good of all. Jesus taught us that to love your neighbor as yourself is one of the greatest commandments. Let me express my true nature as a child of God by allowing divine love to shine forth from within me. I bless all those whose lives I touch today. As I ponder this reading, it helps me think about some of the things I've said to people over my lifetime and how they were affected by my words and actions. Sometimes it was positive, but in hindsight, all too many times it was probably negative. When I find myself in judgment of others, I can remind myself that we're all just doing the best we can. That I move to a place of appreciation and I honor where they're coming from. By shifting my thoughts in this way, I can have a positive interaction with all those whom I come in contact with. Thank you.
Thank you, Curtis. Great job. Thank you. True words were never spoken, so thank you. Well, we have a very important purpose here at Spiritual Life Center, as reflected in our mission statement, and I invite you to join in as we affirm it together. To transform lives as we love, serve, and remember. And we carry that mission out as we practice and embody and live out these 5 basic universal principles to the best of our ability. And in the same way, let us speak them together. God is absolute good and everywhere present. People are inherently good. Thoughts create our experiences. Prayer and meditation are how we connect with God, and we must take action.
And as we continue, while Wednesday is getting up, we're chugging along. And this week we have a Talk the Walk, and we're calling it the Storyteller's Path. And Joella Aragon is going to join me, and we're going to just talk about how humans live by story, and we can and do tell our own stories all the time. But relating a story, sometimes we call on another person to do it for us because they have a special gift for telling a story. And I've also noticed that in different cultures, stories are told differently. And Joella grew up in a different part of the world, at least part of the time, and she tells stories differently than I do. So we're going to sit down, we're going to talk about how we tell stories, and then I'm hoping I can get her to tell us a story. So the community meal is at 6, and the program will be at 7. So join us in person and online.
And I'm sure Joella has some stories to tell. Well, we know that prayer is the foundation of really all of our spiritual work. And our prayer chaplains support our mission by holding that high watch in prayer consciousness, not only throughout the week, but every Sunday they're here to pray with folks. And if you're interested in becoming a prayer chaplain, we invite you to join the chaplains right after this service at 10:15, and there'll be a question and answer period in which you can get more information and see whether this is a calling for you to consider being a chaplain here at Spiritual Life Center. And also just remember to sign up for our heart-to-heart conversations. There are new questions this time around for those who may have been involved the first go-around when we had the heart-to-heart conversations. And we want to hear your voice, your perspective, your ideas. And so you can sign up until March 31st, or you can go online. You can do so by going online or stopping at the heart-to-heart table that's in the courtyard today or next Sunday as well.
And you may realize that Easter is really just around the corner. Next week is Palm Sunday, and that takes us into Holy Week. And in Holy Week, to prepare for our spiritual resurrection, we invite you to join us for 2 special services. On Wednesday, we have our On Holy Ground Easter Communion, and then which is April 5th, and then on Good Friday, April 7th, we have Reverend James and I will be doing the last 7 words of Jesus. service. And both of these are very metaphysical, meditative experiences that will take us into that place of contemplation so that when we come on Easter, we are ready for our spiritual resurrection. So we invite you to both of those events, and we have some beautiful music for both services as well.
Well, we know that there's that song that says our children are our future, and to help shape that future is our youth ministry here at Spiritual Life Center. So we're going to have a youth update here from our Reverend Janee Marth, and she's going to tell you what that's going to be about.
Thank you. Good morning. I bring a warm welcome from Youth Ed this morning. Excuse me, I wanted to begin with gratitude this morning. I'm really grateful to announce that we are welcoming Ann Cinnamon to our youth team. And you're here this morning. Do you just want to stand up real quick so we know who you are? Oh, come on. Yay, thank you. Ann has begun volunteering with us once a month, and she just brings so many beautiful gifts to our youth program. She's worked with children for many years, and thank you for joining us. We're just so grateful to have you. And I also wanted to put a big shout out to both Corinne and Joella, who both volunteer here in so many ways, and they have both stepped up to cover our nursery while we're finding new nursery staff. So a big thank you to both of them as well. I wanted to let you know that the beginning of the month on March 4th, we took our teenagers down to the Unity Church in Vacaville for our one-day mini rally, which was wonderful. Our two regional officers are from our church, Kiki Crawford and Becky McPhee. They planned this rally, and poor Kiki got sick right before we left, but she developed some beautiful programs, and we did them all, and we had a wonderful day connecting with both teens and uniteens. And Cameron Lawson also joined us to help lead the uniteens, and he just blesses us in so many ways. So it was just a wonderful day. And our May rally is upon us. It's coming up soon, and our fall rally is in November. So I wanted to let you know about a couple of fundraisers that we're doing to prepare for that. We're going to be selling our Seas Easter candy like we always do next Sunday, Palm Sunday, and Easter Sunday. And we've purchased some wonderful little goodies, but I also wanted to let you know that if there's something that you specifically want or you don't want to take the chance of us selling out, we also have some pre-order forms in the courtyard, and we can have those here by next Sunday if you want to pre-order. I also am going to announce, and I know this is exciting to everyone here, that we are going to have our annual jewelry sale the first 2 Sundays in May. I've been having folks ask me about it, so I wanted to put it out there. That's one of our funnest and biggest fundraisers for our youth, and we do that by collecting your used jewelry that you no longer want when you're doing your spring cleaning this year. If there's any jewelry that you don't wear anymore and you'd like to donate it, we would gladly receive that. And I want to also just acknowledge that people have been donating throughout the year, and I have that jewelry as well. So thank you for everyone who's already donated. And I understand they're going to add a little more to it this year, so stay tuned for more details coming soon on that. And I just want to end with Easter Sunday. We are going to have our annual visit from the Easter Bunny for those of you who bring kids and grandkids. And because of the way we get kids at both services now, we're going to have our Easter egg hunt between services from 10:15 to 10:45. So if you come early, we hope you'll stay late. And if you bring your kids late, we'd love to invite you to come early and join us in that. Bring your basket, and we'll have lots of fun for the kids on Easter. And we'd like to invite you also to sign up for our newsletter. You can do that online or at the hub. And as always, I just want to thank you for all the ways that you support our youth. We love you. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Janee.
And that's just the youth department. Remember, there are many activities that foster transformation in our lives here at Spiritual Life Center. So check our weeklies out, our weekly small groups and our other offerings. And to discover all the happenings at SLC, you can go to our website. Here in person, you can go to the courtyard, look at the bulletin board, go chat with the ladies at the hub, and get more information, sign up for events, and just come and participate.
And of course, one of the most important things that folks find is to make connections with others, and you have a chance now to make a connection with someone here this morning. So we invite you to greet a friend, a neighbor, a stranger in a way that feels comfortable for you and say, "You are marvelous and glad you are here."
We invite you to stay standing and join us in singing our group song by Karen Drucker called Stand. I used to talk about how I wanted to change the world, but I always left it up for someone else to do. That's when I finally realized that I needed to take a stand, and that by changing my thinking, I could change my life, and that's how I could change the world. Please join me in singing. So let there be peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. I am a stand for love. Let there be joy. I am a stand for joy. We are making a new world now. So let there be peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. I am a stand for love. Let there be joy. Stand for joy. We are making a new world now. Let there be peace. Let me hear you. Let there be love. I am a stand for love. Let there be joy. I am a stand for joy. We are making a new world. Your turn. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. I am a stand for love. Let there be joy. I am a stand for joy. We are making a new world now. Let there be peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. Stand for love, let there be joy. I am a stand for joy. We are making a new world. 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 We are making a new world now. Please be seated.
My finger slipped a little bit there. Oh. So, okay. Well, let's take a nice deep breath together as we prepare for our meditation, and we'll begin by speaking aloud our vision statement together. Spiritual Life Center is a loving, vibrant family that welcomes home all people and accepts everyone, no exceptions, weaving ancient spiritual traditions with emerging wisdom. We cultivate a spiritual deepening with the divine, each other, and our planet. And now,
Please join me in singing this beautiful chant by Paula Mandela. I am a radiant star of peace. All harmful thoughts within me cease. In every deed and word I speak, see the light of this world, the light of this world, see the light of the world increase. Yes, I am a radiant star of peace. All harmful thoughts within me cease. In every deed and word I speak, see the light of the world, the light of the world, see the light of the world increase. Yes, I am a radiant star of peace. All harmful thoughts within me cease. In every deed and word I speak, see the light of the world, the light of the world, see the light of the world increase. Yes, I am a radiant star of
As we move into this time of meditation, let's breathe together. Breathing in and breathing out. Allow the vibration of that beautiful chant to move into the depths of your being. I am a radiant star of peace. Breathe that in. A radiant star of peace. Shining peace into the world. In every deed and word I speak, see the light of the world increase. Yes. Breathe that in. deep into your belly. With each breath, relaxing. With each breath, softening, settling in. We're star stuff. We're the light. And we're here to shine. Your peaceful presence lights the world. You are the light of the world. You and me and all people of all faiths. We are how God brings light into the world. And by knowing our own light, we know that light in all. And that's why we gather in places like this, to know and experience our light more fully, the truth of our being, so that we may be that light through our words and our actions, and by simply being. Human kindness, connection, and peace are all gifts of the light. And knowing our light, every word, every act is spirit expressing, creating, vibrating through you. Our words have the power to destroy or heal. Let's heal. Centered in spirit, one with the flow. We remember who we really are. When your words are both true and kind, they change the world. Peace begins with you and with me. Be still. Let God be God in you, through you. In every moment, you're creating. We're being invited to create consciously from this place of pure potential, this place of love. Your heart knows oneness. It's where presence arises and joins with the presence of another's heart. Presence meeting presence. God meeting God. You're the light of the world. As we take a moment in the silence, rest here in the light of your Creator, the light of your God, the light that you are. You are a radiant star of peace. Your heart knows oneness, and it naturally shines. Let's light each other up. Let's light the world. Thank you, God. Amen.
Curtis, I want to thank you so much. I don't know where you are for that season for nonviolence reading and what you said. I can relate so much. I have always regretted ever saying anything in anger or anything in reaction. So this song is my affirmation and commitment to keep stepping into being the words of love, being the words of kindness and peace. I will speak only words of love. I will do no harm. I will stand for the love I seek. I will do no harm. I know every word has meaning, so I will speak only love, and love will rise and fill the air, and I will feel it in me everywhere, and love will grow and expand and fill my heart, flow from my hands. I will speak only words of peace, peace within me now. I am calm and I am serene. Peace within me now. My only intention is to be in peace, and peace will rise and fill the air, and I will feel it in me everywhere, and peace will grow and expand and fill my heart, flow from my hands.
Thank you, Ann, and reminding us to speak only words of love and do no harm. I think the world would be a whole lot better place if we had that as our guide. I want to start this talk this morning by asking Rose to put up a picture of some figures here. And I want to just throw out this question. And the question is, which one of these figures or squares is different from the other, and what color is it? It's blue. No trick question. I was just checking out. Yes, the blue is different from all the others on that particular screen. Then I wanted to put up another picture that's of two women who are from the Himba tribe. And the Himba tribe is an indigenous group of people of about 50,000 in Namibia, South Africa. And interestingly, they don't have a word for the color blue. Very interesting fact I learned is that they can tell imperceptible differences in the greens. In other words, if there's a slight difference, they can see it in an instant. I looked at one of them that had that difference, and I knew which one it was ahead of time, and I still couldn't tell the difference of it. Thank you for the pictures. That's kind of. So anyway, here's the point. The point is our language determines our experiences. You know, it says in Proverbs, 18th chapter and 21st verse, that life and death is found in the power of the tongue. And that every word that we speak can either build us up or it can build us down. And I would say particularly the words that we say to ourselves. I remember years ago I grew up with friends who, they were brothers. You know, they lived in the same place. They went to the same schools. They seemed to have, you know, all the opportunities before them were exactly the same. They both were supported very well by their parents. And one of the brothers went on to be very successful as in the business community. I think he was in real estate, and he was a model of the community. But the other brother, oh, he was totally different. He was constantly given in trouble, in and out of jails, and he led a life of self-destructions. And of course, I can't really say what was going on in their heads, but both seemed to have their wits about them, from what I could tell. So I asked myself, what was the difference? Well, one apparently would always use to describe themselves in an affirming way. He would speak positive words to himself on a regular basis. He would even be speaking words that sought to envision what his future was going to be, because he would say, I am a real estate mogul. But his other brother seemed to always speak words to himself that put himself down and focus on the things that were shortcomings in his life and how he was a victim all the time. And that became his experience. You know, these biblical references, tell us a lot about the power of our words, because in Matthew it tells us that every idle word that we speak shall be accountable in the day of judgment. Of course, judgment is not about, some distant future or some far off place. When they're talking about judgment, they're referring to the consequences that our words have set in motion right here and right now. Our words have power. Our words matter. Fortunately, not every word that we speak brings us the result that we're speaking, but the words that we speak consistently over time begin to create an energy field that really creates our experience. And when we change the words we use to describe ourselves, we can begin to reset the direction of our life, because those words influence our actions, and over time our actions begin to create our life experiences. So you understand that who we really are, because like I always say, God didn't make junk or make any mistakes in any way, shape, or form. And who we are is an absolute best that God has ever created. This universe has ever created, the force has ever created. So we want our words to reflect and affirm that particular truth. My son who's taller than I am now, but I remember when he was like real small kid. And my wife used to take him to school every day, and she would ask him this question. Who are you? And she had him repeat every day, I'm a child of God. Everything is possible for me. And I'm having a great day. And he would do it every single day. And when I take him, he had to remind me to ask him, who am I? Because the words we say about ourselves to ourselves really make a big difference. You know, sometimes in the mornings, if I'm having a bad day, I need to start just talking to myself differently. It creates a whole different energy field. Because all throughout the day, the power of I am is working. You know, sometimes if we make a mistake and, you know, sometimes what tumbles out of our mouth, oh, I'm so clumsy, we don't want to say that. Sometimes we might look in the mirror and you know, I might shake my head and I say, oh my God, I'm getting old. We don't want to say that. When we see somebody we think may be more talented or, you know, or has more than we do in their life, we may whisper under our breath, oh, I'm just so average in comparison. We don't want to say that. Because when we get caught up in traffic or something like that, we might say, oh, I'm so unlucky. How many times do we wield the power of our words against ourselves? And we don't realize how that's affecting our future, affecting ourselves right now. Understand that whatever follows our I am will eventually find us. So if we say, I'm so clumsy, oh, clumsiness will come and find you. If we say, oh, I'm getting up there and ate, oh, it will get there and find you. If we say, I'm a little bit overweight, oh, the calories will hunt you down. They'll track you down. Because as if we're inviting them, whatever we're saying, because it follows I am. We're handing that universe an invitation, opening the door and giving it permission to be in our life. So we want to run through as big a list as we can think of all the things that are defining us based upon our words. And then we want our imaginations to be like angels of God. And we shift from I am not or I am hoping to become I am this. You want to follow the I ams so you're in tune with the highest part of who we are as divine expressions of the Spirit of God. Because that's who we are, divine expressions, that hope of glory. So we want to affirm that I am magnificent. In fact, let me say that together. I am magnificent. I am whole. I am peace. I am creative. And all the good stuff that we're just being sung about. Because the words we speak about ourselves matter every single day. But also the words that we speak about others or to others also matter. Because they can influence the direction of a life, and I think particularly of a young life that's trying to find its way. There's a young kid, and his name is Jamal, and he found school to be really difficult for him. And he was struggling to keep up, with the class and the classwork and his classmates, and he was getting very discouraged. And one day, his teacher called him before the class and kind of looked him in the eye and said, Jamal, you're not too bright. Not a good thing to say. But she was trying to be positive and said, but I don't see how you're going to keep up unless you work harder. Now, she was trying to say you need to work harder, but the only thing that he ever heard was that he was not too bright. That's the first thing that came to his mind because, he always felt that he wasn't smart enough. And what he heard confirmed what he believed about himself all along. And then hearing it from his teacher made it seem even more real. So it became a self-fulfilling prophecy. He continued to struggle. He wanted to give up because all he could hear is that he was dumb and there was nothing he could do about it. But then something happened. He got a new teacher. And the teacher saw something in him. The other teacher had missed what this teacher saw. And this new teacher took the time to get to know the young boy and understand what his struggles were, what he was going through. And one day after class, he spoke to Jamal and said, I know that school is a little challenging for you. It hasn't been easy. But I want you to know I believe in you. And you are a smart kid. And I know you can succeed if you just put your mind in it. And if you don't believe it, just believe in my belief in you. I believe in you. And something within that kid lit up. You know, no teacher had ever said anything like this to him before. It began to stir something within his own heart. And with his teacher's help, Jamal had worked harder and smarter than he'd ever done before. And slowly and surely over time, he made progress. And after a while, all that work that he put in paid off. His grades got better. His confidence began to shoot up. He began to believe that he could do anything he set his mind to. And today he says he looks back on the struggles that he had and realized the power of the words from that particular teacher and how the words of that supportive teacher made all the difference in overcoming the negative words that were spoken to him by his first teacher. But also helped him go on to achieve great things. So I think that story about Jamal is a testament to the power of positive words and the impact they can have on people and the trajectory of their lives. Because when we believe in ourselves and surround ourselves with people who believe in us, and when we speak words that affirm that belief, there is nothing that we cannot do or accomplish. Words have power. They have power when we speak to ourselves. They have power when we speak to other people. And they have power when someone speaks them to a community because they can move a community. We're toward the end of our season for nonviolence, and we're talking about two iconic figures in history, Mahatma Gandhi and Martin Luther King, and all the work that they did. And we've been acknowledging their work through the principles in which we've been speaking about each week and what was said this morning. And each of them, I think, used words to inspire positive change in their respective countries, in their respective communities. Just a little history about, Gandhi. I think it was in the 1930s. India was still under British rule. And the people of India were growing frustrated with their lack of freedom. And Gandhi had been a long advocate of nonviolent resistance, and he was one of the modern-day originators of it. And he saw an opportunity to make a powerful statement against what was going on. And one of the things he did, he organized a march, called what they said the Arabian Sea at the time, where he and his followers began to collect salt, because a lot of the thing was about a salt tax that they were imposing upon them. And they began that march, that year. And he attracted tens of thousands of people to go along with him. Well, the authorities didn't like this, and they saw this as a direct challenge to their authority, and they responded not with any words, but with physical action and violence, and Gandhi was arrested. His followers were arrested. And it seemed as if that march they engaged in was a complete waste of time. But while he was incarcerated, he wrote a letter. He wrote a letter to what they call the Viceroy of India, who I guess it would be the ruler at the time. And he listed all his demands, and he did it in a very poetic, persuasive way. And he called upon the government of the British government to negotiate with him. And ultimately, all of his words began to have a profound impact on the Indian people who saw him as that leader. And he was willing to stand up to fight for their rights. But the words that he wrote in that letter garnered international attention. And people around the world began to support their independence. And ultimately, because of the words he spoke and the pressure that they put on the government, they agreed to negotiate with Gandhi, and the tax that they were being taxed with was abolished. But the victory gave the people hope. And it showed them that they could achieve their goals through nonviolent resistance that Gandhi supported and believed in. And they all came because of the words that he used to touch something deep within them. They mattered. And they mattered in Martin Luther King's journey as well in the 60s. In Birmingham, Alabama, there was a deeply divided, segregated city. And King and other leaders saw as an opportunity to bring attention to the issues that were going on during that time, and had a series of peaceful protests and demonstrations in Birmingham. Again, they didn't like that. And like they did in India, they responded with dogs against the marchers and hoses to disperse the crowds. And lots of people were injured, and a few of them unfortunately died. King was arrested as well. He was placed in solitary confinement where he had time to reflect on the entire situation. And after deep reflection, he wrote his famous letter from the Birmingham jail, in which he outlined the reasons for the civil rights movement during that time and explained as eloquent as he could why he believed it was necessary to engage in nonviolent resistance. So he also spoke of hope and vision of the future, and his belief that change was possible. But the key thing was his words had a profound impact on the movement and on the people around the country and the world. His letter was published in newspapers and magazines and was read by millions of people. His words galvanized support for the civil rights movement and showed people that change and transformation of a society was possible. And of course, eventually, the authorities agreed to negotiate with him and implement some of the ideas and visions that he had. Changes were made to improve the lives of people in the city. And King's words helped to inspire positive transformation and to continue to inspire people even to this day. Our words matter. Our words really matter. They matter because our words create our worlds. The words we speak are like our songs of life, the energies of life. And our life is a direct correlation of the nature of whatever we're singing, whatever's coming out of our mouth. Put another way, our life corresponds and shapes itself around the quality and the energy of our songs and our words. So we want to ask ourselves throughout the day, what am I singing about? What does my song sound like? What words am I using? Are there words that are victorious? Are there words that are about love and peace and harmony? Are we speaking a magnificent future for ourselves and the world in which we live? Are we speaking a way in which we say all of the news is about peace breaking out all over? Are we seeing the news that says that generosity is the order of the day? Are we living from that understanding that we live in an abundant universe and there is no lack in anything in God's grand universe? We want to speak those words to protect our consciousness by only speaking divinely inspired words, words that are life enhancing. We want to protect that consciousness. And I know in our day-to-day life, we walk outside and, we come from Spiritual Life Center. We kind of on tune with the ideas of the upward movement of life. But sometimes we walk outside and we hear somebody start whispering in our ear. And they start talking about, well, did you hear about such and so, how awful it is? And we get into that low vibration, that low density. Well, we don't want to get caught up in that undertow. So when we hear those words, we listen politely, and we kind of like cross. You ever see those signs where they have like a cross over it? In our minds, we're just crossing it out. And we say, oh, and crossing it out. Our mind is zeroing it out. Because our job is to kindle that fire within us through our affirmative prayer, to kindle by speaking that affirmative words. And sometimes we don't want to say what our surface mind is telling us, what the static of the world sometimes brings to us. We don't want to say those things. We don't want to say what we're hearing from that world. We want to slowly listen. Listen to that still small voice that speaks to us purely, unadulteratedly. In other words, we don't want to be moved until we're moved by the Spirit. We don't want to be speaking till we're spoken through. We're getting that tone of feeling that we're participating in God's ever-moving, expanding good. We're not anticipating it. We're participating it through our words, through high-vibe conversations. Because divine words matter. Peace and blessings to you. Well, next Sunday, well, we're in deep into Holy Week because we're having Palm Sunday, and Reverend Deborah is going to speak about prepare ye the way on Palm Sunday. And I also want to remind you that, as we mentioned earlier, prayer is so important, and our prayer chaplains are here. We have some prayer chaplains that are present. Yes, Rose back in the back. She's doing multiple duties today. We have our prayer chaplains are willing to pray with you. And right now, I just want to, and for those maybe here for the first time, just greet you. If there are any newcomers here today? Any first-timers at all today? Okay, well, as I always say, if you're a little better today than you were yesterday, you're a new person. Yes, so we greet you. We're going to greet each other in our own way. And thank you for being here today. And this time I invite those who are online who would like to support Spiritual Life Center with your gift or your love offering. You have an opportunity to do so by texting the SLC Love to 44321. Just text 44321, write in the word SLC Love, and it'll bring you to the page, and you can give that donation. Or you can go to our website, slcworld.org, click the Donate tab, and give in other ways, including by mail. This gives us an opportunity to expand our teachings to as many people as possible. And if you're online watching us, like us, subscribe to our channel, give some comments, share it with other people, because the more people that know about us, the more we can make a difference in our world. And for those who are present today, I just invite you to take your gift, your love offering, and if you've given already, know that you are in the flow of a principle that says that whatever you give out comes back. And with everything that we give out, we keep. So in some way, not only do those who receive it, that is our community benefit, but you benefit as well. And so with that awareness, let's just affirm our offertory blessing together. Divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I circulate. Thank you, God.
One by one, I wrote down the names of the friends in my life who belong to the same tribe. I don't mean a race, color, or religion, but being united by a common decision and vibe. Deciding in our hearts to be voices for the victory of love, light, and harmony over darkness. We've already won in our minds. The trick is not to buy into the fear that binds our wings, and teach our children to lean on Spirit and the truth, and trust the dawn and sing. Knowing in our hearts we're free, voices for the victory of love, light, and harmony right now. We've already won, let's make that clear. The trick is not to validate the lies and fear. We're free.
sing a song of victory and freedom. That's our song for today. For we bless those who have blessed us with their gifts, their offerings, whether they've come in online or in person today, knowing they're going to not only benefit the receivers, but the givers as well. For we know that we are part of a circle of life that says that whatever we give out does indeed come back to us. And when everything is given with divine and perfect love, energy behind it, it cannot help but expand and make our world a little better. And we also acknowledge those who have left prayers in the prayer box today. We know that throughout the week, we all have challenges. Throughout our lives, we have challenges. But remember that there comes a point when we can release and let go and simply lean on the arms of pure spirit, recognizing that this presence that is beyond all human understanding has an answer for every seeming challenge or problem that we think we have. As that scriptural reference reminds us, before they call, I've already answered you. So before we can formulate the prayer or know what the request is, the Spirit of God, who is all-knowing, everywhere present, has the answer. And our job is simply to raise our energy, to raise our vibration, to be one with the answer, and watch the Spirit of God do its work through and as us. It is already done. We accept it and we give thanks for it. And say so in the name and the nature of the Spirit of the living God that dwells within each and every one of us. For this and so much more, we're grateful and thankful as we go forth doing our work. So it is, and so we let it be. Amen. So at this time, I invite you to join in as we affirm and say our prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever we are, God is. I am, and all is well. Let us now sing our piece. Blessings to you. Remember, your words matter. Okay. This is
some days
life feels perfect. Other days, it just ain't working. The good, the bad, the right, the wrong, and everything in between. And it's crazy, amazing. We can turn our heart with the words we say. Mountains crumble with every syllable. Hope can live or die. So speak life to the deadest, darkest night. Speak life when the sun won't shine and you don't know why. Look into the eyes of the broken hearted. Watch them come alive as soon as you speak hope. You speak love, you speak. You speak life. Whoa, oh, 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 oh. You speak life. Oh, 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 oh. Some days my tongue gets twisted. Other days my thoughts just fall apart. Do, I don't, I will, I won't. It's like drowning in the deep.
From time to time.
Well, it's crazy to imagine words from my lips as the arms of compassion. Mountains crumble with every syllable. Hope can live or die. So speak life to the deadest, darkest night. Speak life when the sun won't shine and you don't know why. Look into the eyes of the broken hearted. Watch them come alive as soon as you speak hope. You speak love, you speak. You speak life. Oh, 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 oh. You speak life. Whoa, oh, 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 oh. Lift your head a little higher. Spread the love like fire. Hope will fall like rain when you speak life with the words you say. Raise your thoughts a little higher. Use your words to inspire. Joy will fall like rain when you speak life with the things you say. Lift your head a little higher. Spread the joy like fire. Hope will fall like rain when you speak life with the words you say. With the words you say.
Yeah, well,
Speak life through the deadest, darkest night. Speak life when the sun won't shine and you don't know why. Look into the eyes of the broken hearted. Watch them come alive as soon as you speak hope. You speak love, you speak. You speak life. Whoa, oh, 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 oh. You speak life. Whoa, oh, 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 oh. You speak life. Oh, you speak life. Whoa, oh, 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 oh. Some days life feels perfect.